What is up, gamers? Staxwell is back at it again today with another market watch. There's definitely no shortage of things to talk about on this market, so let's just go ahead, skip the Raid Shadow Legends ads, and just jump straight into the content here. First card up is Red Soup Up. This is the extended art armory promo from back in the Bright Lights days. I think it's going to be a big winner come high seas, and that is because of the new Mechanologist. The way the new Mechanologist seems to want to play, the new mech seems like they're not going to be boosting at all, and instead just cranking and maybe playing one or two big attacks each turn, but definitely more item focused and less boost oriented. So because it's less boost oriented, you're going to have less access to go again. So Soup Up will fix that a bit. And then the mass of items in the new mech deck seems like you're going to want to play a lot of Galvanize in your deck as a way to cash in all of those items. So Red Soup Up just kind of seems to fill all of those roles very nicely. Cheapest copy on the market is like $7, $8. And yeah, again, I think come high seas, this will be a big winner. Moving on, Poison the Tips. There's a lot of Ranger cards that are kind of going up. Basically, all of them across the board are spiking. But I don't think there's a lot of validity to all of them. However, Poison the Tips, I do think is a big winner. It's definitely already gone up quite substantially. Cheapest copy on the market is $10. But for those who haven't looked too much into the new Ranger, the new bow that she uses doesn't have innate like load on it. It doesn't let you load an arrow. It just is like pay for to give it +4 in dominate or +4 in overpower or whatever it is. So because of that, cards that have reload printed on them seem to be very good. And not only does Poison the Tips reload, but it also makes the overpower make sense, because if you're giving a big arrow overpower, that's awesome, but only if it's like doing something with the overpower, right? If you're pushing through an on hit or something like that, then the overpower makes sense. If not, it's just slowing you down in stats, right? Because they printed overpower on it, they gave it one less power, like one less attack. And if they give it one less attack, it's harder to race. So if your opponent doesn't care to block the arrow anyway, the overpower doesn't make sense. But if it has like Poison the Tips level on hits on the arrow, then yeah, it starts to make a lot more sense. Poison the Tips, of course, has a very strong on hits, and then the innate reload. I think it's going to be a big winner. Again, cheapest copy on the market is $10, which sounds kind of expensive for a Majestic, but this is a Crucible of War Majestic, and we all know how those things get when they become competitive. Moving on, Sonata Galaxia. The meta now that Enigma and Zen are gone is a little bit up in the air, and we still have a few more weeks left of ProQuest season. So people are kind of scrambling to try and figure out what heroes are going to be good. And the way a lot of people are leaning right now is like kind of this Florian rune chant stacking like Doomer vibe, this mentality, I guess you could say. They think like Florian rune chant stacking is going to be like the tier 1 deck, the deck to beat. And if that's the case, Sonata Galaxia will definitely continue to rise. Cheapest copy on the market is $14, and this is a definite 3 of in that deck. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense it's going up. Moving on, we have Pay Up. Cheapest Pay Up on the market is $10. Definitely people are specking hard into this card. For those who don't know, this is a 3 cost, 6 power, 3 block card. That if the defending hero controls a gold, this gets overpower. When it hits a hero, take control of the gold token. So I guess this could be good in a world where all of the heroes care a lot about their gold tokens. But when I put this side by side to other 2-card disruptive plays, like if you put this next to a CNC or a Weakest Link, or a Blanche against the decks it's relevance against, there's just so many things that just really make Pay Up not seem that great to me. And the fact that a lot of those cards cost 2 and Pay Up costs 3, like granted, most of the time it doesn't matter, but yeah, definitely sometimes it does. I'm not a firm believer in Pay Up, but definitely worth keeping your eye on, worth keeping in the back of your head, worth going through your bulk Majestics that you thought maybe were worthless. You might have some money sitting in there that you didn't know you have. Moving on, Balance of Justice. I think this is going to be another massive winner in the high seas. Aurora. This card is already like getting kind of good, kind of played right now because of Aurora. There's so many draw effects in Aurora. Between all of the channels, E strikes, snatches. Um, yeah, there's just so much already innate draw in the deck that Balance of Justice sometimes just kind of either lines up or makes them have to play super awkwardly. Like instead of drawing off their E strike, maybe they go +2 off their E strike, which could be, two less damage than it would have been if they had drawn a 0 for 4 or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's already like becoming a lot better because of Aurora. And then also the new Mechanologist that's coming out, with the hero power of drawing a card every second time you crank each turn. So she may draw a card off of her hero ability and then want to draw a card off of the new, or not the new, but the item that came. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Cerebellum Processor. She draws a card off Cerebellum Processor, and then she draws a card off of the hero power. Maybe she wants to draw a card off of her gold token as well. Balance of Justice is kind of seems cracked versus the new Mechanologist, and then also against the new Ranger. The new Ranger is supposed to be playing Three of a Kind. Seems like a very cracked card in that deck. So if they're playing Three of a Kind, then of course you're going to get a balance off at some point in that game, or they're not activating Three of a Kinds. Either way, you're going to be very happy with that outcome. So if you don't have your balance, highly, highly recommend picking it up before everyone gets hip to this. Cheapest copy on the market is currently $130. Moving on, we have the Extended Art Test of Strength. This was a promo from the TCG Player bundle back in Heavy Hitters. It was, to be honest, a overpriced bundle, so not a lot of these exist. Not too many of them out there. But I actually kind of think, like, if you look at it, like, initially, it just seems like basically a Victor specialization, because who else would want to play this card? But I actually kind of think the new Ranger might want to play this card. If the new Ranger plays a bunch of big attacks and not as many pumps, which would make sense because of the bow. The bow is like a built-in pump, right? Because every turn you could just put some resources into it and give your next arrow +4. So because of that, I don't think you have to play as many pumps. Maybe you could play more arrows. And she's very like harpoon, big arrow focused, it seems like. And if that's the case, and she cares a lot about gold tokens, obviously, if that's the case, I could see there is a world in which she wants to play other generic good gold generators like Test of Strength. And with those big arrows, of course, you'll be winning a lot more clashes with Test of Strength. If Aurora is still a very big hero at the time, that the high seas is like out and relevant, then yeah, this could be a huge winner. Cheapest copy on the market is $82. Seems very expensive, but again, not that many of these exist at all, just because that bundle was just so expensive. I think it was like $150, and you got like a box, the Blitz decks, and this, and that was it. It was rough, but I do think this is an insane card. Moving on, Anaphylactic Shock. Of course, a searchable trap. Arachne could search this and use it to kill any of Gravy Bones' allies that have 1 health. Seems insane. It's probably a good enough card to warrant a side deck slot. So, I mean, yeah, I'm less excited for Gravy Bones, so I actually don't know how many of his allies have 1 health. But it seems like there will be at least a few of them, and Anaphylactic Shock, being able to clean those up as a searchable one of, you're just playing in the sideboard, seems quite good. It's still a blue to pitch. It's not like a terrible card by any means. And, Assassin, of course, already has a lot of issues clearing allies in general. So it seems like it could be a good card just based off of that. The cheapest copy on the market is $35, which for an EA, for the Extended Art Majestics in the Hunted, like of these, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I think they should have a different name. They're not Extended Art, they're like Micro Text Box or whatever. But for the Micro Text Box, Majestics in the Hunted, this is like by far the cheapest one. It's like half the price of the next cheapest one. Even the Brute one sees like zero competitive play, and that one's like $70 or $80. So Anaphylactic Shock being 35, I think is an insane pickup. But if you're not as crazy as me and you don't see the value in this, at least do yourself a favor and pick up the regular Anaphylactic Shock. That one's only like $2. So yeah, at least have an anaphylactic shock ready, especially if you're an assassin player. Um, Moving on, we have Codex of Bloodrot. Cheapest Codex of Bloodrot on the market right now is $17. Again, touching back on what we talked about before with the reload issues that the new Ranger might have. Codex of Bloodrot basically just reloads you and gives your opponent a Bloodrot and gives you a Ponder. I don't know what more you could ask for out of a card. And it being yellow actually seems very, very relevant as well because so many of the arrows seem like they're like 2 for 6s, and also the gold cost 2. So it being a yellow actually seems like it could get you out of a lot of bad spots. I think it's a good pickup. I think it'll be a big winner. Cheapest copy on the market, $17. Moving on, Hyper Scrapper. If the mech is going to be as item focused as I'm imagining she will be, Hyper Scrapper seems like just a no-brainer, right? Blue block 3, you pitch it first cycle, second cycle it comes up, you've gone through 20 items in your graveyard, you're able to just banish them all and come in for 22 go again or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like obvious, and I am clearly not the only one who thinks so because the cheapest copy is $15 is shipped, which yeah, definitely gone up quite substantially. I'm not the only one thinking that same thing. The market definitely reflects that, but I think you're going to need it, unfortunately. Moving on, Germinate, the extended art Germinate. Again, everyone is expecting Florian to be very, very good this meta. If that's the case, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense that Germinate would be, a good card as well, and also going up financially and whatnot. Although I don't like, I'm just not a fan of getting these kind of cards because like the heroes, once they LL, like once the hero LLs, this is just like a Marvel hero, right? It's just going to tank in value completely. Uh, I do like playing with these cards, and I think they're gorgeous and whatnot, but I would just wait until the hero is out of meta. Like if you look at something like, let's move on here. Raisin Army, cheapest Raisin Army on the market is $24. And when you compare that to the $60 Germinate, just get the EA majestic promo cards for the heroes that are not currently the best hero in the game, right? That just makes so much more sense. You're going to save so much more money. And one day, the pendulum is going to swing the other way. Kasai is going to be the best deck in the game. And this promo is going to be $60, $70. Like, it's just obviously going to happen. Yeah, so I think if it's just the best hero in the game, just don't buy into it right that second. Just give it a minute. Just wait. Everything will come down. Everything will balance out. Moving on, Rootbound Carapace, the yellow Rootbound Carapace, cheapest copy on the market. Just make sure you're sitting down before I tell you this because it's $20 for the yellow Rootbound Carapace. EA, this is the Armory promo from back in the Rosetta days. Yeah, it makes sense. There was twice as many of the reds in that Armory package as there was yellows. So, of course, makes the yellow twice as rare. And pretty much every deck that's playing it is playing 3 reds, 3 yellows. So yeah, this lines up perfectly. We've actually talked about this exact thing on the channel a couple of times before. So yeah, fans of the channel are eating good on that card. Moving on, the EA Arachne Agents of Chaos. For those who don't know, I think it was a buy a box promo, and they all came EA Rainbow Foil, and they're extremely affordable. The cheapest or the most expensive one is the one I pulled up here, the Arachne Black Widow. That's the number one, the girl with the white hair or whatever, and it's like $5 shipped. I got the whole set for like $20 the other day. I just think it's very cheap, and I'm not like an Arachne stan or anything, so I'm not trying to drop a bunch of money on all of the Marvels. But I think this is a very good middle ground for someone who enjoys the hero, but isn't trying to drop the bank on him. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic pickup. Arachne hasn't seen his time yet, but yeah, definitely coming. Moving on, Murky Water, cheapest Murky Water on the market is like $8. People are so excited for the high seas, and yeah, I can't blame them. I'm hoping Riptide gets a lot better with this set, and it kind of seems like he will. It seems like that's the direction they're trying to push him, is kind of this big harpoony kind of style. Evident with cards like Murky Water, right? It seems like they want him to be kind of a slower ranger shooting one big idiot arrow per turn, and not so much like a Lexi where he's like rapid firing them out, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely possible with the new ranger support that Riptide could become a meta contender, and in which case, Murky Water going up would make a lot of sense. So yeah, I don't hate it. Cheapest copy on the market, $8. I don't hate it, especially if you're interested in Riptide. Moving on, we already talked about Sonata Galaxia. System reset. This one seems insane, especially if the new mech, since the mech might not be reliant on boost at all. If that's the case, then the new mech could play like D reacts and whatnot, and you could actually play a slower game plan and set up for your system reset, which is fantastic compared to Dash, who has to kind of almost is forced to oops accidentally system reset combo someone. Being able to meticulously set it up, install and block, and maybe sync things in the right order or whatever into a calculated system reset. Seems like it could actually be a viable strategy. When I look at this card and I think of the new mech, yeah, that's what I think of, like a calculated, viable strategy. But when I look at system reset and I think of Dash, like, oh, you're just playing the high roll card. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I actually think this could be a big winner. Hasn't gone up too much. Cheapest copy on the market is 650. I think it's well worth it. Moving on, down and dirty. This card's going crazy. Cheapest copy on the market is $10. This card after the Pro Tour, after seeing all of those prisms do so well, this card just shot straight up. It was like $1.50 just a few weeks ago. Now it's $10. Pretty crazy. Moving on, Gorganian Tome. The new Ranger loads withdrawing, so it kind of makes sense that Gorganian Tome would be played in that deck for nothing else than a cantrip and a reload. Seems fine to me. Cheapest copy on the market is like $5 shipped, and this is a Crucible of War Majestic, which, as we alluded to earlier, when they become good, their prices go totally crazy. Gorganian Tome used to be played in Briar back in the day, and it wasn't like, the best deck in the meta or everyone was playing Gorganian Tome or whatever, but it was still like $15-$20 at the time. And yeah, I don't know. I think it could definitely reach that price tag again. I'm not going to say it's like guaranteed to be played. It's not maybe the most cracked card ever in that deck. But it seems like a reasonable include. Yeah, draw a card, reload seems good. Moving on, we have Tick Tock Clock. For those who remember the Dash IO Armory deck coming out, it was like just an absolute menace everywhere. And Tick Tock Clock was the sideboard card that you would use to gain an edge in the mirror. When a Mechanologist attack hits, it blows up to other items. So your opponent would set up some items, and then you would attack. They can't block because they're Dash IO, and then you flash in the Tick Tock Clock and blow up their items. Was very good. I actually think something similar could happen with the new mechs as well. The new Mechanologist, was it Puffin? Or is that the Ranger? I think that's the mech. Yeah, Puffin. Yeah, I could see it happening with Puffin as well. And for $8, yeah, I think if you're looking to play the mech, just pick it up now before everyone starts picking up the mech stuff, and then yeah, I think it could go a lot higher. Is what I'm getting at here. I'd be safe and just get them if you didn't. I don't know that you need three. Maybe like two. I think would be fine. It really is just a side deck card, but I think it's quite good. $8, cheapest copy on the market. Moving on, Perch Grapplers. If this Ranger, I mean, what has every Ranger played so far? They all kind of just play Snapdragons, right? But if your deck is filled with these 2-cost arrows, 3-cost arrows, right? These giant harpoons, you can't snap that. So you might need to play something else to be able to give them go again, like Perch Grapplers. It also is reasonable to assume that if it's a slower deck, maybe it's a little bit more setup based. Maybe you just want more armor in general. I think Perch Grapplers fills a lot of niches that Ranger is looking for right now, especially with such a different Ranger coming out that we haven't quite seen yet before. And for only $4 or $5 shipped here, I think Perch Grapplers, especially if you're interested in Ranger, like please pick it up before it becomes like a staple in Ranger and everyone's playing it. Because yeah, I can see this card just going absolutely crazy, especially because it's a Crucible of War Majestic. Okay, moving on, three of a kind. We kind of alluded to this earlier. This is obvious three of in the new Ranger. Cheapest copy on the market is $10. I know I'm so late to the party on talking about this card, but just because we haven't talked about it yet, I just had to bring it up and mention it. Although since the announcement, it has gone down quite a bit. I remember after the announcement, I just peeped the market a little bit. This card was like $22. So it's not by any means unreasonable at $10. I think it's actually a very, very good deal at $10. And if you're interested in the Ranger, yeah, highly, highly recommend picking them up at that price. Moving on, Waning Moon, the cheapest cold foil Waning Moon on the market is $45. I always hype up these uh, weapons, these cold foil or Marvel or foil, whatever weapons that are not tied to a hero as a signature weapon. Because, when Icelander LL'd, Waning Moon didn't go with her. When Kano or Verdance or all of the heroes who play Waning Moon are gone, Waning Moon will still be here. So I just think that these are just the timeless investments in the game, especially when you find a weapon as good as Waning Moon. There's a few others on the market as well. I'll point to like Titan's Fist. That's the one I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Maybe like, yeah, like Hibachi Blaster or something like that. The mech weapon. There's a few. There's a few. I just want to point out Waning Moon though. It's going up quite a bit. Nice to see. Moving on, Tunic. Yeah, I've been out of the game, out of the market so long. I just popped in and checked on Tunic. This thing's nearly $200 for the rainbow foil Tunic from Welcome to Wraith. That's kind of crazy to see. This is compared to a year ago when we were playing, this card was like what 130, 150, something like that. So yeah, it's definitely creeping up. I've always used Tunic as a bit of a like an indicator on interest in the game, and Tunic has been reprinted since then. I even think, yeah, it got reprinted in Bright Lights as the non-foil, right? That was Bright Lights, I think. Either way, seeing it go up this much is crazy. Yeah. Moving on. That's just me getting a little nostalgic. Sorry about that. Moving on. New Horizons or New Horizon. I don't know why I put an S at the end of that. Everyone does though. New Horizon. Cheapest copy on the market, $165. Yeah, for those who weren't around for the Lexi meta, when New Horizon was in every Lexi deck. Everyone was playing it. This card was like $210. So it's creeping back up to that price tag. And if this new Ranger is as good as that one, is as good as Lexi, is as dominant as that hero, then yeah, there's no reason to assume that this card wouldn't go back to that same price. If anything, it would be higher, right? Because New Horizon hasn't been reprinted or anything like that, and the player base has grown, right? So if the same amount of New Horizons exist, but there's more people that want them than before, yeah, it's totally reasonable to assume that this card could go up to like 250, something like that. So yeah, 165, like it seems like like a punch in the stomach because it's been only $80 to $100 for so long, but yeah, just think about where it could be if that Ranger is like the best hero in the game and playing New Horizon. Moving on, Glyph Overlay, the alternate art is at $70. This is crazy. And then the alternate art Spike with Blood Rot is at $50. These were the Team Covenant promos. So the last two Team Covenant promos have just been absolute bangers. I bring that to your attention to just think about where are you going to pre-order your product from come high seas. It might be worth looking into pre-ordering it from Team Covenant. If the promos are going to be hidden like this, you know what I mean? This is just crazy. Glyph Overlay isn't even a good card. I don't know that I've seen anyone play with Glyph Overlay since like, the original like testing couple weeks after release. I haven't seen it since then. But yeah, still $70 is insane. Moving on, Grains of Blood Spill. Been going up a little bit because of Fang. Cheapest copy on the market is $90 for the rainbow foil. And let's peep, the cold foil is at $120. I think if you're going to get it, you should definitely get the cold foil. But I bring it up to say, like, yeah, Fang is, like, not even really a part of the meta, you know what I mean? Like, he's there, but he's not, like, a huge part of the meta. But yeah, if that's what's going to happen to heavy hitters legendaries, like look at other cards like Apex Bonebreaker. If another brute comes out, this card goes insane, instantly goes insane. So yeah, just kind of look at some of the other heavy hitters legendaries. Apex Bonebreaker is only $65, so it's currently cheaper than Grains, and yeah, there's no doubt Apex Bonebreaker is way better than Grains. Like it's not even close. All we need is another brute, and then this card doubles in price overnight, guaranteed. Moving on, we have Master Cog. Master Cog going crazy. Cheapest copy on the market is like $90. Makes a lot of sense if you have The new mech, who cares a lot about Steam counters, the two resources, might be fine. Maybe you just put it into a gold token to be able to refresh a Steam counter. I am a little bit hesitant on this one though, because this card has, gone up and down, with every mech release and that's come out, every armory, every mech armory deck, every release, whatnot, and it's never really seen play. I'm hoping that changes because I'm just a sucker for gems. I just like playing them, and yeah, I hope it becomes good. But I'm a little hesitant on this one. If you don't have the other mech cards, definitely pick those up first. But yeah, definitely keep Master Cog in mind if you have all that stuff. Maybe could be worth a pickup. Schism of Chaos, speaking of gems, has gone up quite a bit. Yeah, if we look at the chart here, it was down to like $40, and now it's up to 65. Kind of crazy. Has not seen a lot of competitive play, but Slippy has been seeing a bit of a surge in popularity. This could definitely be going up because of Slippy. That's probably the case, but yeah, has yet to proven itself competitively. Moving on, premeditate. All of the other ranger cards are kind of going crazy, and for some reason, premeditate has only slightly gone up. Cheapest copy on the market is $27, which I think is a great deal. Yeah, I think compared to how much the other ranger cards have gone up, premeditate's just a steal. Yeah, I think it's well worth it. BIOS updates also going up quite a bit. Cheapest copy on the market is $825. I'm not seeing it with this one. Like, it doesn't really seem good, especially if the hero is going to play the way I imagine she's going to play and not be boosting. But it's possible I'm just straight wrong, and maybe that hero does just boost down everyone all the time. So yeah, I guess it's possible, but I'm not really seeing it with BIOS update. I think you should hold off on this one. I've never really, like, this card's never been like so good, like meta defining, like all the mechs are playing it. You know what I mean? This has always been like at best like a niche card. So yeah, I think that price tag is just not quite worth it at the moment. Moving on, Oath of Loyalty has gone down quite a bit since Syndra's reign. Cheapest copy on the market is like 1250. It's only a matter of time till Syndra is the best aggro deck, or till Fang, uh, you know, is the best mid-range deck or something like that, right? Or maybe we get a Dromai Armory deck. There's so many things that could send Oath of Loyalty, um, to like 30, back to like $30-$40 like it was on release. So yeah, for 1250, I think if you're interested in any of the Draconic stuff, you should definitely have a playset of this card. Probably the best Draconic card in the game, I think, like this or Blaze Headlong, one of the two. Yeah, well worth it at that price tag. Moving on, Shred. The yellow Shred is like $5 or $6 ship. That's crazy. That's insane. It's just a rare. So yeah, hold on to your bulk. The Rainbow Flow is like $20. Yeah, look through your bulk. You might have some money in there you didn't know you had. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're gonna buy anything we talked about in today's market watch, please do so using the TCG player link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Later, gamers.